my book. It's called Swap Marketing Without Money, and it's a recipe book. It's a step-by-step guide on how businesses of any size can start doing partnerships with other brands today. So
Fantastic.
so that's my book. I'm happy to actually share that with your audience as a gift for them. They can
Oh, wow.
absolutely have
Thank
that.
you so much.
And it's done all right. It's won a few gold medals and things. So it's got a bit of a
It's
following.
okay, is it? Is it just a Bella? Come on. Welcome to the Goddess Show Podcast, voices of visionary women, inspiring female leaders by interviewing amazing guests to encourage us all to rise up. Enjoy. Thank you for joining us. I am so beyond excited and honored to have our very special guest, Therese Tarlinton, on today. Hi, Therese.
Hi, Tula. It's so lovely to see you, and thank you so much for having me on tonight.
I'm so happy to have you on, and it's great to see you too in your beautiful, glowing, smiley face. And Therese, you are absolutely amazing. You're the best-selling author of Swap Marketing Without Money, an in-demand speaker, a fierce supporter of business experts and entrepreneurs. You have over 20 years of experience collaborating with top brands like Jeep, United Colors of Benetton, The Block, and you help businesses find powerful brand partnerships. You secure product placement, use AI to save time, create more saleable products, and all the way to exiting profitably. So that's absolutely amazing. And I can't wait for our interview today. But first up, I want to start with a little bit about your story. So, first of all, my question to you is, what motivated and inspired you to start your business? So, share a little bit about your inspiring story.
Oh, thank you, Tula. So I started my first business in my late 20s, and I don't know what fueled me to do it, and so back in those days, you looked in the trading post. Remember a newspaper?
Oh my
Wow,
God, yeah.
long time ago. And I had this really huge desire to actually have something of my own. So I was working in corporate, I was working in branding, and I met a beautiful lady who had a business. And what we decided was actually probably be better if we did something together as opposed to individually. And that journey took me overseas to a trade show where I was helping her set up distributors. And at that trade show, we both saw something that we thought was amazing, and it was a Jeep baby stroller. So
Oh,
Jeep is in the
wow.
car,
Cheap
yeah.
baby stroller.
And so Jeep is in the car, and it was a stroller, and it had a steering wheel on the
Oh, how
stroller for the
cute.
baby. It was super cute. And she was a mum. I wasn't a mum yet. And she was like, "This is a great idea. I've never seen anything like this." And so she saw it from a mum point of view, and I saw it from a branding point of view. So it combined
Wow.
my two loves of babies and brands. So she decided that we got her distributors and it actually set her up. And so she wanted to actually do her original business. And I said, well, I want to take the strollers and do something amazing. So I bought the strollers to Australia, and this was, I guess, at a time where you couldn't really, there was no Amazon, you couldn't get products into the country.
Wow.
And so I created a company straight from that. And I was super lucky because I think it was just really, really good timing with a really good brand that people knew and a market space that nobody was taking up.
So it sounds like you were entrepreneurial from a really, really young age.
Yeah, I think that I don't think I knew the word entrepreneur. I don't think I knew what that was. But I think that I saw my amazing mum, my fierce mum, um, create, she was a single mum. My dad passed away when I was a baby. And so she wore all the hats. And she really crafted a career that she could be at home with us after school and still work to earn money, but obviously have a social life as well and, have some adults around her. And then, you know, through my schooling and everything, I guess I had also had a teacher who said something to me in the playground, just this random Tuesday lunchtime, you know, when I
Wow, it
was
must
in
have
year
really
eight.
stuck with you. What was it?
It was something so insignificant, but I was telling her about my sister, and obviously this is like this is like in the 80s, right? And
Yeah.
I said about how my sister was a secretary, and I wanted to be just like my sister. And she said, you know, you could do anything, right?
Wow.
And I looked at her like, no, I actually don't know what you're talking about. And she said, you can do anything, right? Like you could be a doctor, you could run a company, you could tour the world, you could do anything. It's up to you what you choose.
Yeah.
And I had this beautiful family environment that I grew up in, but it was an environment where the adults didn't really, you know, we didn't really talk to the adults. The kids were just, you know, seen and not heard. And so I didn't even knew what people did for work or anything like that. And so I wasn't exposed to a lot of, you know, working adults, or knew what they
Except
did.
for an amazing role model in your own mother.
Yes, except for my mum.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think that I was like, right, okay, well, how does this work? And so I, you know, started put my hand up to do a new subject called computers, um, instead of secretarial. So I guess I've always looked for what can I do? What's more? What else is there? Um,
Wow. It's a great way of looking at it. I mean, it sounds to me like you had your own perspective on things.
I think my mum crafted or encouraged or built, fostered in me a sense of you can do anything. I think she definitely felt like she, you know, told me all the time about how I was, you know, so special and so great. And so she built a lot of confidence in me to let me explore.
Wow.
And she had a beautiful, encompassing kind of parenting style in terms of she would give me enough rope, not too much rope, but you know,
Sounds like a
but
great mom.
yes, enough to actually say, go and explore, go and do things. Like I'm right here and I'm, you know, watching you, but go and find your way.
Oh, that's fantastic. So on that, I want to move on to the next question now. And you've started from the very beginning, but you can apply this as you wish, I guess, in your current business. But my question is, what were the first few steps you took to get your business up and running?
Oh, I love this because this is how it all started for me in terms of creating, you know, partnerships that are different and amazing. So when I brought the stroller back to Australia, I had a meeting. I went into Jeep, the car head office, and I showed the PR manager. And when I showed her the stroller, she said, "I love this." And I said, "That's great." And she had a pregnant belly, and she was going to go off on
Oh, well,
maternity leave. And she said to me, "I love this. I've got an idea. What about if I do some PR for you and you give me the stroller?"
great.
And I said, "That's fantastic. I would love that. I would love to do that." And so I got some PR, which got me lots of editorial in magazines, which got me a meeting with Target, and I got ranged in Target. Amazing. And then very quickly after I got ranged in Target, I got a phone call that changed everything. And
Oh,
it was from
tell us about that.
Huggies. So
Huggies.
yes, the Huggies, the nappy brand. Yeah. So Huggies, the nappy brand, rang and they said, "Hey, we've seen your stroller. We've got an idea for a competition. We want to give away a Jeep to mother and baby. And would you be keen to be part of this?" And I said, "How would it work?" And they said, "Well, if you just give us a few prizes or a few strollers that we can use as prizes, then we'll put your stroller in all of our advertising, in the magazines, on the point of sale, everywhere around Australia for 3 months."
Oh,
And
sounds
I
like an
said, "Oh my
awesome
gosh,
deal.
yes, yes, that would be a great." And so that competition that got me to my first $1 million in turnover.
Amazing.
I
Amazing.
know. And that's because somebody else talking about your brand is always going to be more impactful than you talking about yourself.
Absolutely. I agree with that. So tell us about your business today.
Great. So today, I guess it's same, but different. So I am still in the business of collaborations and strategic partnerships. And I work with tiny, small brands that are in incubators trying to hatch. And I work with billion-dollar global brands on projects where they need other strategic partners to realize their vision or their potential. So I'm almost like a dating coach. I'm almost like a brand matchmaker.
Dating coach for businesses.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you recall, but you mentored me as well in my business.
Absolutely.
And Therese,
Absolutely.
you were amazing.
I think I love working with small businesses because we are nimble, we are brave, we have a real identity, we have focus, we dig deep. And from working with a lot of, really big brands, they have enormous potential and scale and resources and budget.
And
But
budget, especially budget.
yes, but they don't have some things that small business have, which is identity. They probably don't have, like, most of them don't really have a figurehead that we would know of.
Yeah.
That we would relate to, that we would listen to.
Yeah.
And so the ability for small businesses to get a project for a big brand off the ground quickly, to connect with customers, to get feedback, to actually create a product really quickly is something that a big brand just can't do. So I'm always looking for how to connect big brands and small brands because that's where the magic happens.
It is magic and it sounds fantastic. There's nothing like collaboration, is there? But I want to ask you, what have been, would you say, your biggest challenges so far?
I definitely have bright, shiny object syndrome, which is I always have about 10 ideas on the go at any one time.
Wow, that's a lot.
I always see potential. I always see something and think, oh, I know exactly what to do with that. I see these brands which are, under marketed or they just haven't found their customer yet. And so my limitation is around, I guess, focusing on a project in its entirety. However,
and how do you overcome that?
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to do really elementary things. Like this year, I'm trying to put in place on my calendar, actually color coding different tasks and hours of the day. I'm definitely trying to allocate time to do specific things like social media. I'm trying not to zigzag in and out of tasks. Yeah.
You know what's coming across for me, Therese, and it's probably something you know about yourself, but the ability to see things from a different perspective and always see the opportunity in things, I would imagine would be your greatest gift in this world to share. Would you agree with that?
I do agree. I think I say to my friends, I can see around corners. And what I mean by that is somebody tells me an idea and it's just like immediately I can see the path. I can see how to market, where to get there, who's the opportunity, what's the positioning strategy. I can see how to get there. And so that is a gift, but also Tula, it's a learnt skill. So in the last few years, I have worked with a business program and I have mentored one-on-one hundreds and hundreds of founders. And the commonality of all of us founders is that we love ideas and we love our thing, whatever our thing is, whether we're a plumber or a photographer or an accountant. We go into business because we're good at our thing, our craft, the thing that we love. And what we're not great at is all the stuff.
All the other things.
Yeah, all the other stuff that goes along with doing our thing. And so For me, I think this is the ability to see around corners is definitely a skill that I have, but it is also a practice skill. Like I do it every single day. I met 5 business owners today, each for an hour each, came up with a whole new path, taught them a new skill, or worked on their communications or their, I was teaching somebody how to build a GPT. So I definitely have diversity of vision around what they need to do. And because I guess I'm very practical in terms of that digital application and making that brand amplify through using all the different
Fantastic.
tools.
Because this is the way of the future, isn't it? This is where we are today.
Yes, absolutely. So that's my newest thing. I've been doing training sessions on AI since June 2023. So when
Wow.
ChatGPT was just a baby, it had only been out a few months, and I started teaching business leaders and entrepreneurs about how to use ChatGPT and
And
different AI tools.
you were ahead of your time, really.
I think for me, this is around. So I've been in marketing since the 90s, and I have survived the Y2K bug. I have seen, websites where it used to cost 20 grand to build a website. Now you can build a website almost for free.
Yeah.
I've seen social media being invented. I've seen apps. I've seen everything. And so for me, AI is just the newest tool.
Yeah, and it makes life easier. It really does, doesn't it? I'm going to ask you about all that in a minute. But first of all, what I would love to ask you is, if any, what advice would you give other aspiring female entrepreneurs?
Do it.
Do it.
Just do it is
Like
my
Nike, do
answer.
it.
Just do it. I think we can get really scared about what we don't know, but we're never going to know unless we take the shot.
Try. Yeah.
And I also think that I actually believe, not think, I believe, I know that sometimes being naive is a superpower.
Mm.
If you knew all the things you had to do, and if you knew how hard it was going to be, and if you knew all this stuff, you probably wouldn't do it. So being excited about an opportunity, hearing about something that you can do, even getting retrenched and actually deciding to go out on your own.
That's
These
really
are,
exciting, isn't it?
yeah, it's exciting. And so you can take the perspective of this is daunting and overwhelming and I'm not sure if I can do it, or you could just do it.
You could just do it. You could just see it as a new chapter.
Absolutely. And the thing is, we learn through experience. Like even if it's like I help sometimes companies build software and it is only ever 80% accurate because how your customers will actually behave. You can try to think of everything they'll do and what their behavior is online and where they'll move through a website. But actually, until you build the website, you're not going to actually know what is their path. And that happens even in the real world as well. I know a quick story about like Macquarie University actually, when the train station got built and they needed to build a path, a footpath from the train station to one of the main campuses. And what they did is they waited. And what they waited for was they waited for all the students to actually make a path in the grass of the route that they would take to get to their destination.
Is that
And
because they
then,
weren't sure which way the path should lead?
exactly. And so sometimes you can create a path that people just don't want to take.
Ah, that's a great, great example, isn't it?
Yes, so it was very cool.
Fantastic. So my next question to you is, what are your favorite business tools, resources, and why? Would you say AI?
AI is growing so rapidly, and I think I know a lot, but I know that I don't know everything. And as I said, I think AI is the newest tool. We've got an abundance of tools. There's plenty of tools for all
What
of us
would
to
you say
use.
are some of your favorite tools?
My favorite tool, two things would be a piece of paper and a pencil and actually creating mind maps. that is still the most strategic tool that you can do, is to actually map a path of what do you want your customer journey to be? What do you want them to experience?
Yeah.
What do you want them to look like? I would say my next favorite tool is actually meeting with other business owners, and I go for a walk. We call it networking,
Networking, I love it.
where we meet up and have a chat. And when we do that, it is about layering your ideas. So you say, I've got an idea. This is what I think. This is who it's for. And then having someone actually ask you questions about it. And it allows your brain to actually just kick in, and allows that other person to actually help you build on an idea to make it even better.
It's kind of like brainstorming, would you say?
Absolutely. So it's brainstorming, but we move, we walk as
You
we do it.
exercise as well.
So it's a bit of exercise. But I think there's something about the kinesthetic energy of like the actual moving. It makes your brain work. There's something about the standing side by side or walking side by side, as opposed to looking into each other's eyes and actually allowing yourself to move forward with the conversation and the ideas, and not being scared to, you're not looking them in the eye, so you don't know, if you don't have to look at someone's face if they've got a bad facial expression or their body language. It's just allowing you the freedom of working through an idea.
That sounds fantastic. And
so I would say, the tool. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I just had a thought. I mean, there's an energetic aspect of moving, literally moving forward as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it does amazing things for your brain when you do that. So there's a physical changing of surroundings. There's a physical moving in your body and your blood flowing, and a physical connection with another human that you're right beside and moving forward with. It just, I can't explain what it does, but I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to go and do some networking with a friend, and work through a business idea.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's really good advice. So my next question to you is, what makes brand partnerships such a powerful marketing strategy?
Oh, my favorite question.
I knew you'd like that one.
So what is a brand partnership? Is when two or more companies come together and they create something irresistible for their mutual customer. And when you work with another brand who knows and who loves your customer as much as you do, then it helps you grow. It helps you grow in a lot of ways. But when you work with another brand, it's about the customer. So what both of you are doing, so both companies are coming together and you're bringing, everything to this deal to make it work. So it's not a bartering system where you're like, I'll give you one Instagram post and you give me an inclusion in your newsletter. It's not that. This is about what would make the customer experience even better, and what do we need to make that experience happen. So for some companies, they might have a sales force, or they might have a retail store, so they've got foot traffic, whereas other brands might be online or digital or have an event. And so it's really about like, what have you got in your business toolkit and what can you bring? Because that retail store with that digital, or even just say it was an interior designer and a retail store, then to actually have that interior designer come into the store and actually educate your clients, or create a masterclass, or, or help them actually choose, a lounge or some furnishings, like that's a physical experience. So I'm always looking for opportunities with brand partnerships to use one or three things. One is when you use your product. So when products and services, or products and products come together and you co-create something together. One is when you come with your IP, the thing that you're known for. And so it could be an accountant who knows how to get the best tax deductions, or it could be a photographer who's incredibly skilled at creating a great headshot. So what are you as a business? What's your IP? What are you really great at? And then how could you do a digital collaboration with another company? And the third one is when you use a physical in-person experience. And as I said, that could be a retail environment, it could be a trade show, it could be it could be something like a shared stand at a trade show. It could be any environment where you're actually creating a physical memory that your customer is going to have from relating to you and your other brand in person.
Oh, it sounds amazing. It's like it's the spirit of collaboration, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I think, look, as a small business owner working at huge businesses, collaboration is fun, you know.
It's fantastic.
It's so fun because, as I said, you get to work with somebody else and they know your customer. They know and they love your customer. And so then it's like, and when I'm saying about the networking, the idea layering, it's like when you come to a business and you say, I've got an idea of how we could create something. And they're like, great, what have you got? And you say, this is my idea, Tula. This is my idea. And they go, oh, yes. And I've got a trade show coming up and I could actually do something there. And you go, oh, yes. And, you know, I've actually got, you know, I've got a webinar that's coming up and I could include it in that. And you go, yes. And I could do this. And so when companies come together, it is not, you know, I'll do this, you do this. It's yes, and we could put it in. Yes, we could do this and we could put this together and this together. And so you're layering this great idea to give this customer an irresistible experience.
Fantastic. Okay, I think you're going to really love my next question as well. How can AI help business owners create more saleable products and boost profitability?
Yeah. So AI is an amazing beast. And I think we all know or have heard of ChatGPT, which is pretty much how we all got into AI. It's like the beginner's step to AI. We all know how to do that. When I started talking about AI, there are about 1,500 different AI tools. Now there's, I think when I looked at the website yesterday, I think there's about 40,000.
Oh, wow.
And the estimate is by Christmas, so by Christmas 2025, there will be about 1 million different AI tools.
Incredible.
Yes. And so if you think about what ChatGPT is versus a particular AI tool, it's like if you go to ChatGPT, it's like going to a medical center and you see a doctor and you say, hello, I've got a sore elbow and I want you to help me fix my elbow. Or hello, I've got a sore throat and I want you to help me fix my throat. Then that doctor is acting like he's almost acting as an elbow specialist or a throat specialist. So she has a very broad knowledge and is able to apply a particular piece of knowledge to you. Whereas if we actually are using different GPTs or different AI tools, it's like when we go to a chiropractor or an optometrist, where actually the tool does one thing really, really well.
Right. So that's why there are so many of them, because they're niche products. Is that right?
Absolutely. So you would have GPTs or AI tools that are developed and just do one thing, like create menus for restaurants.
Wow.
You could also have a GPT that only is about legislation or words or terminology for Australian tax law. Then there would be another GPT, which would be for UK law, and another one for German and whatever. And so, and obviously you've got people like me building their own GPT.
Wow. So does that mean you're really techie as well?
So this is the thing, and this is what I want to get across to people. I am Gen X. I'm a 50-year-old woman. I have adults. I don't have kids. You know, I am not techie. I just love that this technology is simple to use, and when we look at ChatGPT, only 11% of Australia, of not just Australians, of people all around the world, only 11% of people between 45 and 55 are using AI tools.
Wow.
And you think of, like, we all created businesses before Google existed. We went to the school of hard knocks. We developed relationships through talking to people. We actually used our phone to call people.
The days.
And so I mean, AI at the moment, it thinks business started in 2010 and avocado toast is what you have for breakfast.
Yeah. I love
So,
avocado toast.
so
Okay.
I want to
Wait,
see,
sorry.
so I want to see us, I want to see business owners, the experts and the entrepreneurs who we are. I want to see us use AI to create procedures that can train our staff so we don't have to. I want to
Oh,
see
that's
us
so
put
great.
in our knowledge and our methodology so it can identify new market segments that we haven't thought of. Or it could create products that for a specialized industry. It can create things that we can sell or make more profitable. It can identify our competitors and what are the opportunities around what they're doing because there's a gap in the market. And mostly, as I said, I'm on a bit of a crusade because there are so many businesses that you get to about 60 and you want to retire and you think I'll sell my business and it's just not digitally ready. And so the ability to sell a business is about how easy it is for another person to step in and take over that business.
Right.
And so when we actually take all our knowledge out of our head and we start creating procedures and using tools to make it automated, it makes it more saleable, which means that somebody can come in and take over from your business and nothing would miss a step. That's a saleable business.
Yes, it is. And does that also imply passive income, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the thing, you can definitely create products that can produce different types of income. So it could be that your knowledge you're actually creating into assets that your clients might need. So, for example, it might be a book, it might be a checklist, it might
Yeah,
be,
exactly.
yeah, anything like that. It could be a new product in terms of it's exactly the same product, but you're finding a different market for it. And that market might be a use by a different customer group, or it could be a different demographic and you're going to slightly change it, or it could be an international market. So and it might be, I was talking to someone the other day, they have this brilliant company, and I was saying, I think you should license this. Like, I think that, yes, you could expand into different countries. That's completely possible for you. But because of where they are in life, that's not really a desire for them. It's not something they want to do.
Right.
And I was saying, I think you could actually find, a company overseas and you could license them your methodology and IP
A good
and
idea.
how you make the product. And they can sell it overseas and you can actually just generate an income from that. So from
Okay.
your idea, from everything you built, then you can take it in a different direction.
Fantastic. So tell me, Therese, are you at the moment running any promos or contests or giveaways, anything like that for our?
Oh, of course. I'm a sharer. So, so, absolutely. I have my book. It's called Swap Marketing Without Money. And it's a recipe book. It's a step-by-step guide on how businesses of any size can start doing partnerships with other brands today. So
Fantastic.
So that's my book. I'm happy to actually share that with your audience as a gift for them. They can
Oh, wow.
absolutely have
Thank
that.
you so much.
And it's done all right. It's won a few gold medals and things. So it's got a
Oh,
bit of a following.
it's okay, is it? Is it just a bestseller? Come on. Therese, thank you so much. So we're coming to the end of it now, but I'm just wondering, just as a thought, what would you say to inspire other women? I mean, is there anything apart from, anything that comes to mind?
I would say you have everything you need. There are all green lights. And the only thing that's stopping you is probably your 3 a.m. monkey brain going off, thinking about all the what if. But what if you actually were able to do the thing that made you incredibly happy? What if you were able to create a life and a business that could be completely fulfilling for you that you'd never have to retire from, that you could keep going because it fulfills you in so many ways? What if you could create a legacy for other people like you or your family? And so there are so many reasons to just do it.
Yeah, that's such good advice. Thank you so much. That's so valuable, Therese. So tell me, for everyone out there, how can we connect with you?
I would love that. I love new friends. I love
New
talking
friend.
to amazing people. It's very easy. So my name is Therese Tarlinton. There is one of me. There is no other Therese Tarlintons in the whole world. So my playground is LinkedIn. You'll find me on every other social platform as well. And of course, my website is just my name, theresetarlinton.com.
Oh, that makes
But it's super easy. So you know what? If you Google me, I think I have about 18 pages of Google results. So
There you
you'll
go.
find me.
You can't miss Therese. Thank you so much, Therese, for everything that you've shared with us today. It's been so valuable and so full of great, actionable advice. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on. And as I said, please connect with me. Anybody who would love to have a chat, I would love to talk to you.
Excellent. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you, Therese. Thank you for tuning in to the Goddess Show podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, share, and we look forward to seeing you next time.